Good day, Philippines. It's March 10, 2023, Friday. This is Angelo Alaw, your news anchor here on STS News, bringing you the best news that are surely truthful and authentic. The following are the headlines of our news. The pressure cooker has been around since the late 1600s and was first used in Spain. To give us more details, Ms. Juliana Elon on the line.
Good day, everyone. My name is Juliana Elon, reporting live here in STS News. Nowadays, you can bake anywhere and you can even bake in your pressure cooker. Pressure cooker was originally named the steam digester. This device used steam pressure to reduce the cooking time of the food. This was invented by Denis Papin, a French physicist, in 1679. Denis Papin is credited with inventing the first pressure cooker, which was made of a pot, lid, and locking device.
Gunpowder was made to be used in warfare, and it is very sensitive to flame and spark, and can also be ignited through friction and impact. To give her latest news, on the line, Riza Kapangpangan.
Good day. The gunpowder, it is a mixture of saltpeter or potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal. Together, these materials were born rapidly and explode as a propellant. And the Chinese monks discovered technology in the 9th century CE during their quest for a life-extending elixir. The key ingredient saltpeter had been in use by these same cultures since the late 10th century BCE for medicinal purposes. It was found to be incendiary and immediately applied to warfare. That's all for the gunpowder invention. This is Riza Kapangpangan reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
Eyeglasses were said to have been invented by Salvino di Armati in Italy during the 13th century. For detailed information, we have our reporter, Ms. Daphne Dahab.
Eyeglasses were said to have been invented by Salvino di Armate in Italy during the 13th century. It all started with the invention of two convex lenses placed in a wooden seating with a shaft held together with a rivet. The wearer held it to his face to improve his vision. However, this is only one of many accounts when it comes to the origin of glasses, while a common theme in middle paintings of glasses is the studious monks and sense writing. Glasses made it possible for people of all walks of life to continue to read, to write, and to work at their both hobbies and professions much later in life. This is Daphne Dahab reporting.
Hey guys, welcome to the Kabakumo Show! Tonight, lago tayo, sumakit ang ulo ko. Saridon, saridon, saridon. Mas kapag bawal caffeine, nasa coffee meron din. Sa trabaho ang balik, mabilis na mabilis. One more time! Mas kapag bawal caffeine, nasa coffee meron din. Sa trabaho ang balik, mabilis na mabilis. Saridon, saridon, saridon. Saridon, saridon, saridon.
The printing press was one of the most significant inventions of the Renaissance period. For more detailed information of the history of this invention, we have our reporter, Ms. Richly Lambuhon.
Good day, everyone! The printing press is one of the most significant inventions of the Renaissance period, allowing for great advancements in communication to take place. It was German goldsmith Johannes Gutenberg who invented the first printing press in the year 1436 in Germany. He combined movable panels and metal type with a pressing machine, creating a machine known as a Gutenberg press. Thanks to Gutenberg, newspapers, magazines, and books could be reproduced relatively quickly and cheaply, replacing the painstaking scribe work of monks in monasteries. Gutenberg's press was operated entirely by hand, a slow process by today's electronic standards, but he paved the way for the future to come. That's all for the printing press invention. This is Richly A. Lambohon reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
steam engine has a long and rich history from its invention in the 17th century to its decline in the 21st century. To give us more insights about the history of this invention, we have our reporter online, Ms. Sheila May Itol.
Good day everyone, thank you Mr. Angelio. Thomas Savery, an English inventor who invented the steam engine. The steam engine was used in 1698 to pump water from mines and powered machines in factories. The early steam engines were inefficient but they were improved upon by James Watt in the late 18th century. His decision was more efficient and allowed for the use of steam engine in a variety of applications. The steam engine has had a long and rich history from its invention in the 17th century to its decline in the 21st century. It has been a key factor in the Industrial Revolution, and its impact can still be felt today. That's all about steam engine. I'm Sheila Itol, your reporters today. Back to you, Mr. Angelio.
As we all know, a match is a tool used for starting a fire, useful on a day-to-day basis. To give the historical background of the invention, Ms. Juliana Elon reporting.
Our next invention is a tool for starting a fire, useful on a day-to-day basis. Robert Boyle, a physicist from Ireland, invented the match in 1680. Substances like phosphorus and sulfur, when rubbed together, produces fire.
Windmills were built to serve a variety of functions, such as raising water for irrigation and sawing woods. To give us insights of this invention, on the line, Ms. Riza Kapampangan.
The first practical windmills were built in a region covering eastern Iran and western Afghanistan during 9th century. They describe in a text by Zahri, a Persian geographer of the time, as having horizontal cells similar to helicopter blades that are directly attached to the mouthstones spinning below the shaft. The first windmill was built in 644 or earlier, according to the 9th century record, because the man who has donated the Caliph Omar in Medina's Mosque that year was the Persian builder of windmills. Windmills were built to serve a variety of functions, such as raising water for irrigation or sawing wood. By far most important functions of windmills, however, was to grind grain for food. That's all for windmills invention. This is Riza Kapampangan reporting.
Derechahan na ha. Dapat matibay ang resistensya laban sa sakit. Kaya ang gatas ng anak ko, Bear Brand. Ang nutrients, di basta-basta. Tibay resistensya nutrients. Ang vitamin C, di tulad ng iba, 100% tulong para sa matibay na immunity. Talaga namang pinag-aralan at napatunayan. Matibayan ang resistensya. Mag-Bear Brand araw-araw. Sure ka rito, 100%.
From Nestle.
The astrolabe was likely invented in Greece around 225 before Christ era and based on the research of Hipparchus. For further details, we have our reporter, Ms. Daphne Dahab.
Astrolabe. An early astrolabe was invented in the Hellenistic civilization by Apollonius of Perga. The astrolabe was likely invented in Greece around 225 BCE and was based on the research of Hipparchus. The astrolabe was a marriage of the planisphere and dioptra, effectively of an analog calculator capable of working out several different kinds of problems in astronomy. The astrolabe was a key astronomical instrument during the Middle Ages. It can be used to tell the time, measure the heights of stars and buildings, and for many other calculations and observations. This is Daphne Dahab reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
The musket was an instrumental in Revolutionary War invented in the year 1615 in France. To give us knowledge about the history of this invention, on the line, Ms. Richly Lambuhon.
Musket was invented in year 1615 in France. No one knows who invented musket. It is up for speculation. Some believe it was invented by Leonardo da Vinci a little more than 100 years earlier, but others say it was Louis Bourgeois, a French gunsmith. The musket uses a flintlock. A flintlock is where when the trigger is pulled, a small shard of flint strikes a plate of iron to create sparks. These sparks light the gunpowder, which then explodes. This volatile explosion sends the bullet rocket out of the barrel, along with a cloud of smoke. The musket was instrumental in the Revolutionary War and was a hunting tool until the Winchester rifle was invented. That's all for the musket invention. This is Richly A. Lambuhon reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
A telescope is a device used to observe distant objects by their emission, absorption, or reflection of electromagnetic radiation. To help us discover the history of the telescope, we have our reporter, Michelle May Itol.
Thank you, Mr. Angelio. Good day, everyone. Another canny spectacle maker of the Renaissance era from Holland named Hans Lippershey also invented the first telescope in 1608. He initially called his new device a kikker, Dutch for looker, to describe its function for seeing things far away as if they were nearby. It was the first instrument of its kind to extend one of the human senses, fascinating and inspiring many to develop his idea further. Following on Lippershey's discovery, Galileo Galilei was quick off the mark again. He went on to make his own updated version of the telescope in around 1609, which he used to make some radical findings about the universe. These include finding Jupiter's 4 moons, discovering that the Sun was the center of the universe and the Earth's moon is not completely spherical. Amazing, right? Isaac Newton also succeeded in creating one of the world's first telescope in 1668, using a reflective mirror mechanism. That's all about telescope. I'm Shalami Itol, your reporters today. Back to you, Mr. Angelio.
The hourglass used falling sand to accurately record time. To discover the history of this invention, Riza Kapampangan reporting.
The hourglass first appeared in Europe in the 8th century and may have been made by Louis Brandt, a monk at that cathedral in Chartres, France. And it made of 2 globes, also called piles or ampules, of glass were connected by a narrow throat so that sand with relatively uniform grain size flow from the upper globe to the lower. It commonly used as timers in early factories. That's all for hourglass invention. This is Riza Pangpangan reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
Mechanical alarm clock was the first of its kind and was also the precursor of the modern alarm clock. To give us more detailed information, on the line, Miss Daphne Dahab.
Mechanical alarm clock, Levi Hutchins, 1787 in Concord, New Hampshire. The clock was designed to wake people up at a specific time and had a bell that would ring at the same time. This clock was the first of its kind and was the precursor to the modern alarm clock. In the 19th century, the alarm clock became more advanced. They were equipped with bells, gongs, and even music boxes to alert people when it was time to wake up. These clocks were designed to become more accurate and reliable than their predecessors. This is Daphne Lab reporting.
Pag kailangan ng gamot, huwag mahihiyang magtanong. Kung may right med ba nito? May right med ba nito? Pag may kailangan gamot, huwag mahiyang magtanong. Kung may right med ba nito? Ang right med ay premium na gamot na kayang bilhin. Dahil gusto namin na gumaling kayo.
Scottish whiskey, patent for a process of distilling spirits and used as a medicinal tonic during Renaissance period. For further details, we have our reporter, Ms. Richly Lambuhon.
The Scots are often credited with the invention of whiskey, and there is some evidence to support this claim. In 1494, a Scottish friar named John Core was granted a patent for the process of distilling spirits. This process was later refined by another Scottish clergyman, Robert Coyle. In the early 1600s, Scotch whiskey is made from the three basic ingredients: water, malted barley, and yeast. The water and barley are mashed together first, and then the yeast is added to create alcohol. By law, Scotch whiskey then has to be distilled and matured in Scotland in oak cask for at least 3 years. Whiskey was first produced in Scotland, with the first written record of the spirit appearing in 1494. Scottish monks first produced whiskey and used it as a medicinal tonic. That's all for the Scottish whiskey invention. This is Richly A. Lambon reporting. Back to you, Angelio.
That was the news of truth and accuracy from the STS News team. That's all for the inventions and the great inventors of the medieval period. We are hoping everyone is in good condition and also hoping you have a great day ahead. This is STS News. Thank you for being with us.